Welcome, Annie Collins here for the Maker's Movement. Today we're going to be creating this gingerbread base card. Let's go over the products I used to create this card. The Warm Wishes stamp and die set. This stamp set contains 6 images: the gingerbread, the peppermint, 2 marshmallow people, and some snowflakes. It also has 2 sentiments: warm winter wishes and Merry Christmas. It has coordinating dies for our images along with some bonus dies, some bonus snowflake I should say, whip topping, and a cup. We're going to be using our mini maker die cutting machine here to cut out our images, which I've already stamped and colored our images ahead of time. I'll have a coordinating blog post which I'll tell you which markers I use. We have an A2 top folding card base, which is 110 pound white cardstock, and then I have layering cardstock of 65 pound out of Kraft, and an embossed panel here out of 110 pound white cardstock, and this has got like a, looks like an icing. That's what it reminds me of, the little swirl and dot. Some My Mind's Eye pattern paper from Oh What Fun collection, that'll be for our cup, and a piece of cream cardstock, and that'll be for our whip topping. Alright, so let's clear our desk and get started on our project. So first thing I'm going to do is die cut our images. I'm going to get the coordinating dies and hold them down with a little piece of washi to run them through our mini maker. We have the one for the peppermint, the gingerbread, and then our marshmallows. I like these because although they give you a nice little white border, it's not really big, so it doesn't give you that true like huge sticker look, but it's nice to have coordinating dies, and these are a great price point for the stamp and the die set together. So for our sandwich, we're going to need our A plate, our metal shim, our images and dies, and our B plate. Then we'll run that through the mini maker. We'll have our little pieces here die cut. There's our gingerbread guy, peppermint, and one of the marshmallows. For our second run through, we're going to cut our cup, our whip topping, and another little marshmallow. I always tend to stamp and color extras, but I'm only going to use 2 marshmallow people here. And I like that the cup cuts out that little piece in the handle of the cup. Alright, so let's get started here. We're going to adhere our Kraft panel to our card base. I'm using a little art glitter glue here. And this is the same size as our panel, so it's an A2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 panel. And I cut our embossed panel just a little bit smaller, so you get like an 1/8 of an inch all the way around, or 1/4 inch, somewhere in there. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this down to our card base, giving us that cookie feel with a little bit of craft showing through the edges. I also went ahead and die cut 2 sentiment banner strips here. I have one from red cardstock and one from white cardstock. I plan to use that, of course, for our sentiment, but to create almost like a table feel to hold our cup, so it's not just floating there. I'm going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment, which is Warm Winter Wishes, onto the white banner here. I'm going to use Versafine Onyx Black ink to stamp our sentiment. Once I get it all lined up, I'm going to adhere our white sentiment banner to our red sentiment banner. Using a little art glitter glue, I'm going to try to get this centered so I have a little bit of red shown on each side. So now that I have that all set, I'm going to use that as my holder here, or placement, just to figure out where I want to put everything. So now I'm going to bring in 2 Copic markers to add a little accent to our whip topping. It creates the die creates these little indents, and I want to highlight them so you can see where the whip topping goes. So I'm going to just use the YR31 just to bring a little bit of shadowing into this whip topping, and then I'll use wait, E41, just to soften it a bit. And then I'll again use a little bit of 0 to blend it out a little bit more. And this will take a little bit to dry because this is on colored cardstock I'm coloring onto here. All right, so I'm going to set that a second off to dry. And I know I want to foam mount my cup. So I'm going to grab some foam adhesive here. I'm going to start adding it to the back of our cup. Next, I'm going to grab our marshmallow people here. One of our marshmallows is throwing a kiss to the other one, and the other one has got this cheeky little smile like, oh, that's such a fun kiss. So I'm going to adhere those to our cup, right on the rim of the cup. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on each of the marshmallows towards the bottom there, and attach them from behind. And also nestle them together like they're snuggled up there. Now here's our whipped topping. I'm going to adhere that to behind our marshmallows and onto the back of the cup. I'm going to adjust it till I get it the height I want. Now once that's all adhered, I'm going to put more foam adhesive on the back of all that. And I'm also going to put a little foam adhesive on our handle. And all I did was cut a thin piece of foam adhesive, remove the backing on both sides, and then it's easy to curve to around the handle. All right, so I'm going to hold my sentiment till I get an idea where I want my cup. And I'm going to fuss with this a little bit. I'm going to put it in the center, then move my gingerbread guy, and I'm not liking it, so I'm going to remove my cup and put it more to the right, so that I can put my gingerbread guy up there next to our cup. So I'm going to put some foam adhesive on him and place him next to the cup, so that everybody's on the top up here, leaving just a sentiment towards the bottom. I'm going to nestle him right next to our cup here. And I'm having him slightly tilted, almost like he's coming over to say hello. I'm going to pop in my little mint up here. It also brings more red towards the top, that red and white stripe. All right, so now all that's left is to adhere my sentiment. And I'm going to just adhere it. I was going to use foam, but then I decided, nope, I want it just tucked under the gingerbread man's little leg and the cup. All right, so I'm bringing in some shaker sprinkles, and this is called Peppermint Twist. And I'm just going to pull out the little peppermint candies that are in here. These are little these are Fimo clay pieces. I'm going to put 2 on the sentiment banner and 1 up there above the gingerbread guy. And that's it. Our card is done. Again, we used the Warm Winter Wishes, Warm Wishes stamp and die set, our shaker sprinkles, the peppermint twist to create our card. Of course, I'll have everything listed below and along with a coordinating blog post so you can see what markers I use. Thank you so much for being here today, and I hope you found some inspiration. Don't forget to like and subscribe.